Okay, sorry. Okay. So Logan Paul, recently posted a vlog, a couple days ago, where he recently went into the, well, let me start that over. Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's Jobe. Sorry about the room looking kind of like a mess and that kind of thing. I just recently moved into a hotel. Well, I got relocated here because they are doing some renovations in the apartment that I'm living in right now, so I'm gonna be here for about the next month or so. And sorry about, I guess, the whole scenery, just kind of trash, I feel. We just recently moved in and I'm kind of sick and I just don't feel like great, but I mean, like, I just kind of like wanted to take this time, since I don't work today and I don't really have anything else to do today, to I guess talk about something that's been kind of like a buzz recently, and it's about Logan Paul. And I feel like before I talk about anything, I guess, like concerning the subject and that kind of thing, I don't want it to seem like that I'm just hopping on some sort of train. I mean, like, literally, I'm gonna try my best not to, I guess, like put Logan in the title and that kind of thing, and or even put him in the tags or anything that would give me any kind of like Logan Paul exposure. This is just something I just want to express empathetically, I suppose, and what my standpoint on the situation is and that kind of thing. So, you know, he's not going to be in the title or anything. I'm going to try to make this look like as casual of a video on the surface as I possibly can, because this is something that I don't want to gain any traction towards my channel for. This is just something I just feel like I want to just put out there in the world and that kind of thing. So yeah. So anyway, recently, you know, Logan Paul, a couple days ago, he made a vlog where he went hiking into the Japanese suicide forest, and, you know, I'm sure you've all heard about it at this point, you know, but, like, you know, he went in there and he found a dead body, someone who committed a suicide, which is not a joke, you know. Filmed it, exploited it, and put it online, knowing, you know, fully where he could have not have been aware that that sort of action wouldn't have resulted in the shitstorm that he's in right now. Because, I mean, like, literally, I mean, like, that's, like, if you think about it, like, Logan Paul, I mean, obviously he's a huge entertainer, one of the biggest entertainer on this platform right now, and, like, for him to put up, like, that kind of content, like, that kind of stuff that you would find, like, on the dark web and that kind of thing, exposing people to that, I mean, I don't know, on the surface, you know, obviously it seems like a really, really bad thing. And when it comes to certain situations like this that are super controversial and that kind of thing, I try not to just hop on the wagon of just being like, you know, this is bad for this reason or that reason or whatever. Like, I'm just the kind of person, I try to kind of like look into it a little bit deeper, and yeah, it seems like, you know, the action that he, you know, like did, you know, putting that video online, I guess, trying to spread awareness about it and that kind of thing. It's just like, I just feel like, okay, I don't want it to seem like I'm siding with Logan Paul on his actions or what he did or anything like that. I mean, he also put out an apology video, you know, saying, like, you know, that his actions shouldn't be defended and that kind of thing. But I'm not so much trying to defend his actions as much as I'm trying to, I guess, like, trying to understand the perspective as to, like, why he would do something like that. Because, I mean, I don't know, it's like, obviously, you know, I feel like, and if there's going to be any kind of change in the world, I mean, obviously, you know, you kind of have to, like, push the boundaries and that kind of thing. And when I was looking at this, like, you know, as much as, like, you know, as bad of, as much negative press as Logan Paul was receiving, I was trying to kind of understand kind of like the artistic approach as to why he would do something like that. Because I'm thinking, like, okay, like, this is a move that's obviously going to, like, I don't want to say, it won't revolutionize the platform or anything like that, but it'll definitely, like, you know, it'll shake up the platform and you know, beam a light on it that's never been seen before and that kind of thing. And I feel like I do have to commend him on the fact, like, you know, that was a really bold move on his part to, I guess, like, you know, be shining that kind of light on the platform. But at the same time, when I think about it in retrospective, it's like, you know, as much as, like, I want to understand his actions and that kind of thing. At the end of the day, I kind of have to put myself in his position, and think about, if, for instance, like, if I was ever crazy enough to go wandering off into the Japanese suicide forest and I actually come across a dead body. I've never seen a dead body before. Like, what would my initial reaction be? And in actuality, I can't really say pulling out the cameras and recording and getting close-up shots would necessarily be the first instinct that I would do. That's not how I would react to the situation and that kind of thing. Like, I feel like, first of all, I feel like I would be scared, because that would be like a super surrealistic moment in my life. And obviously, if I'm going through something like that, I'm not going to want to pull out the cameras while it's super raw and then put it out in the public and that kind of thing. And Logan Paul, I mean, he was getting a lot of hate, for, I guess the way that he handled the situation. Because on top of like recording the reactions and that kind of, or his reaction and all his friends' reactions and whatever. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh wait, yeah. So on top of that, he was also, I guess, he was heavily criticized for, the way that he handled the situation. Like laughing, making these jokes and that kind of thing, and he even specified in the video, that's just kind of like his coping mechanism and that kind of thing, which I can relate to, and I can really understand that perspective and that kind of thing. I wouldn't necessarily go and hate on Logan Paul specifically because he was making, because he was like laughing in certain scenarios and that kind of thing. It was really stupid when I saw that he was still carrying on like the thing where it's like, oh, I've seen so much stuff now. Like when the guy, I think some guy in the video was like, that was a really restricted area and that you're not allowed to go hiking off into that area, right? And then like he still like continues to persist to make like the joke, like, like, oh man, I've a little bit too late for you to be telling me that I've already seen too much stuff. Like, it was almost like that part I felt like he was really making light of the situation, because in the moment I can kind of understand, like, when you try to laugh things off and that kind of thing, like, I feel like I would be a person, I would be like that. I feel like, because I laugh at the most inappropriate of times and that kind of thing, just because that's the only way I know how to handle it. It's really hard for me to express like these super raw emotions that venture off outside of like being happy and being positive and that kind of thing. It's really hard for me to genuinely express that. So yeah, I think about it, if I was in that scenario, I would probably laugh and try to make a couple jokes about it too. Whether or not I would put that online or not, I mean, it probably wouldn't look good. Obviously, as you can tell from the results of everything that's happening and whatever. I don't know. Again, I'm just thinking like, okay, Logan Paul, he's been vlogging for, a little over a year now, I believe. On top of all the vlogging that he does, he's also doing projects behind the scenes, acting, doing movies, doing YouTube Red Series, doing all this other stuff. And I can't help but to think, like, I don't want to just completely like hate on the guy, because I'm very empathetic, I'm very compassionate towards people, and I try to fully understand the situation before I make any kind of criticism. And the way that I perceive it, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Logan Paul, maybe he's just tired or something, like, like on top of doing all this stuff, and he has like a lot of, like, he has bigger goals like ahead of him, like in the future and that kind of thing, that he's really trying to aspire to and whatever. Like, literally before the vlog, like, when the vlog first came out, I remember I saw the thumbnail. I didn't even click on the video. I didn't even think anything of it, because, like, obviously, I don't keep up with Logan Paul or the Paul brothers or anything like that on a daily basis or anything like that. But I remember I saw the video with the title and everything, and I thought it was just like, some more clickbait trash or whatever, and I completely dismissed it. But it's just weird to see how much this situation has escalated, and that he actually did this, it's just, I don't know. Sorry if I'm kind of like all over the place. I'm not necessarily, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to act in front of the camera and that kind of thing, and sometimes my thoughts just kind of go everywhere, but, anyway, yeah, so I feel like Logan Paul, Dude, like, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from here as to why you would do that, because obviously, I saw you put out the apology video. I feel like in your situation, I feel like there's really no other option but to do that. Even if you might think completely differently, because obviously, the way that you thought a couple days ago to the time that you put out the apology video isn't going to change much, I feel. So, I mean, I'm kind of trying to talk from the perspective of, like, obviously, he has no choice but to apologize if he doesn't want to completely end his career, right? I feel like if you really wanted to, I guess, shine a light on suicide and something as serious as, like that, that's a really heavy topic that affects a lot of people, a lot of people out there are affected by, like, depression and that kind of thing, and I'm just saying, if you wanted to do something like that, I don't know, you should have gone about it differently. You've got to think about the person, everything that they've been through, everything that they've struggled with, and that kind of thing, like, to completely, like, I guess, just put them on blast, even if they're not alive, that's just as disrespectful, it's just, like, it's so, like, I don't know, like, if you see that, and you really want to shine a light on that to the public and that kind of thing, you don't have to show the body to do that. You can talk about the experience afterwards and that kind of thing, even while it's raw, You can acknowledge, you can let the people know that the body is there and that kind of thing. People, you're a huge influencer, right? Like, people aren't going to have a reason not to believe you unless you're explicitly known for lying. Like, for instance, like, someone like Onision or Rice Gum or I don't know. But, bro, like, literally, like, you could have gone about it, like, so much differently, and I can kind of try to, like, understand and that kind of thing, like, what you were trying to go for, but, bro, it just, like, that's a dead person, like, first body or not, like, you don't pull out the cameras and you film this person, like, I understand, like, I don't know. And I'm thinking about it, I'm taken back to the specific part of the video, where he's talking about, like, like, oh, you see those kids over there? Like, they could have easily, like, wandered into that forest. Bro, you can't be so, like dense that you can't, like, realize, like, you have a huge population of children watching your videos too, and you're exposing them to all of that too, so it's not, the actions aren't any different from whether those children went into that forest and then you putting that kind of stuff online. I've never seen a dead body until I saw your video, and then the hands that were purple, it was so gruesome, it was so, you can't just put that up there, if you're gonna, okay, everything was wrong in that situation, I feel, right, but, I mean, if you were going to make such a bold move like that, and you really wanted to protect, especially the children and that kind of thing, you should have age restricted the video. I understand children can make accounts, saying that they're 18 years old and try to get access to the video that way. I feel like you also have to implement that into your thinking before you post something like that too, but you could have at least taken the action to age restrict the video so that you wouldn't get so many views off of it. And, like, I know you stated in the beginning of the video that it wasn't monetized for obvious reasons and that kind of thing, but literally, again, like, 10 minutes into the video, you also state, like, like, the video wasn't going to get monetized anyway, so it's not really so much of a noble move on your part to not monetize the video when you know it's going to be demonetized. And it's like, even if you're not getting the video monetized, you're still creating traction and exposure for your channel, exploiting this person, and you're still, on top of, like, the views and that kind of thing that you're going to get more subscribers that way, you're probably going to get more merch sales that way, and you're going to overall profit from that scenario. And I guess there was a tweet from Philip DeFranco or whatever that said, like, the video got, like, 600,000 likes or something before it was taken down, and that kind of thing, which was crazy, because, I mean, obviously I know, like, the dislike ratio isn't going to be that huge in terms of, like, those numbers of likes and that kind of thing, and it's kind of upsetting that people take it so lightheartedly, I suppose. I mean, again, they could have, I don't know, maybe they felt like what Logan was doing was right in that scenario. Maybe his core fan base just felt like what he was doing was right. But, like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's necessarily completely wrong, because it's like, again, I can kind of understand I guess, the direction that he was trying to take with the video, but I just feel like maybe, like, you know, being in the position that he's in with all these projects that he's doing, you know, vlogging his life every day and that kind of thing, maybe it's just all got into his head a little bit. And I don't want to say that he's like, well, he might be like, I don't want to say that he's fame hungry or anything like that. I mean, obviously, you know, he has enough exposure. He doesn't need to get more traction towards his channel. But again, I can't understand the mentality of Logan Paul or anything. I can't put myself in that position, you know. I can't understand the platform, like how the platform that he's on must be affecting his health mentally and that kind of thing. I don't know if it's wearing him down, and he just felt like, you know, in that moment it was just a rush of like adrenaline and ecstasy that he just needed to put out. Like, I don't know, I can't say for sure what is 100% going on through Logan Paul's mind. I feel like my mind might have been just like a little bit all over the place in this video and that kind of thing, but I mean, like, again, like, this is something I just kind of wanted to put out there and that I wanted to talk about. I don't want to gain any exposure or any kind of, like, anything from this video. I don't want Logan Paul fans to be coming over here and wondering what my thoughts on Logan Paul are in this scenario is, at least on the surface and that kind of thing. I just wanted to talk about this because this was a really bold move on Logan Paul's, you know, side and that kind of thing. And like, it's just like, I don't know. Oh God, I'm sorry. I know there's some people, you know, who have articulated the point a lot more, I guess, intricately than I can express in this video right now. But, you know, actually, you know, while I'm on that topic of talking about, you know, all the press and all the exposure Logan Paul is getting, you know, I feel like the people criticizing him, for instance, like, you know, first thing I, like, you know, like, looked up when I was trying to find out, like, what the whole situation was, with Logan Paul and that kind of thing, you know, it's everybody who was hopping on the bandwagon so fast when they found out that Logan Paul made this huge slip up and that kind of thing, and they're bashing him for I guess exploiting this person and this dead body. But at the same time, everybody who's criticizing Logan is also exploiting the situation of how Logan fucked up and exploiting that for their own, you know, like, benefit and that kind of thing, putting Logan Paul on the title, putting, like, literally, like, this guy named Kavos, I saw his video and everything, and, you know, it was literally just him just completely slandering Logan's name. And I guess to a degree it's somewhat justifiable and that kind of thing, but literally he made the point, you know, Logan was exposing the dead body in the video, exploiting it, and that kind of thing, and how completely wrong that was. But at the same time, you can see, like, again, like, maybe I'll show a clip or something of, like, what he showed off in the video. No, actually, I'm not gonna do that, because, you know, I'm gonna respect this guy, I don't want to say this dead person, but I want to express this individual, oh God, let me backtrack for a second. This guy Kavos, right, you know, he was bashing on Logan Paul, you know, because of obviously because of what Logan Paul did and that kind of thing, and he was very articulate, very intricate in the way that he was speaking and that kind of thing, and slandering Logan's name, because of this mistake that he made, huge mistake. You know, it could possibly be career ending for him, for all I know, but I don't know. But he was slandering his name, but at the same time, like, you know, as he was criticizing Logan for putting this dead guy in the video, he himself, granted, I mean, the way that he was justifying this point of how, I feel like, he didn't necessarily justify it himself, but, I mean, like, he put the dead guy in the video too, right? And I thought that was completely stupid and completely hypocritical of him on his part to be, I guess exploiting this dead guy for views, when he also, you know, he blurred the guy a little bit more, but does it really make that much difference as to, like, you know, whether you blurred him more or not? Either way, the guy is still in the video, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, what the fuck am I saying? Like, you know, the guy was in the video too, and I feel like he was also kind of, like, reaping the benefits of this guy who had passed in this forest. So I mean, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Logan Paul fucked up, you know, exploiting this dead guy for views, and that kind of thing. But at the same time, everybody who's criticizing him on the matter, using his name in the title, talking about this issue, is also, in a sense, I feel like exploiting that guy for views. It's a really sad situation overall. A point that I also kind of want to, a point that I kind of also want to touch base on is, like, you know, not everybody who's talking about this issue is necessarily, I feel like there's good ways to talk about it and bad ways to talk about it and that kind of thing. Obviously, this guy Cavos, I feel like, you know, it wasn't necessarily the way to go about, I guess, talking about Logan Paul and that kind of thing. But there was this other guy, I forgot his channel name and everything already, but I mean, like, maybe I'll put a picture right here of, you know, what the thumbnail was or whatever, or who this guy is, you know, who talked about this. I saw his video too, and I felt like that was a really good way to, I guess, talk about the situation and that kind of thing. He wasn't necessarily putting up, you know, pictures of Logan Paul anywhere. He wasn't, you know, like, I guess, he didn't put any pictures of the dead body in the video or anything like that. It was just his genuine, just raw, I guess, like, thoughts and feelings towards the situation and that kind of thing. And for that, I commend him, because obviously, you know, it was a topic that was very personal to him, and I could feel that through the video. I felt for the guy, and I felt, you know, I could feel for his, like, pain and that kind of thing, even though I don't personally know him, and that kind of thing, and I could sympathize with him. Not with him, but I can sympathize for him, because obviously I can't understand, like, what it would be like to be in a place where you feel like death is the only option for you. So I do want to commend him for that. Sorry, this video is all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily covered all the topics that I wanted to talk about in this video. But I don't know. Maybe this was really stupid to record in the first place. Sorry, I'm gonna end the video here.